Hi, it's Rick from Montana Outlaw BBQ, and welcome to another one of our episodes. It's spring here in Montana, which means it was 65 this morning, and now it's 40 and snowing this afternoon. But it is just spring, but summer's just around the corner. And if you're like our family, summer picnics will be here soon. So today we're preparing dishes that you can take to any potluck and be a hit. Today's dish is Porky Mac and Cheese, which is a favorite dish in the South, and we first experienced it at Puckett's Mercantile in Leapersport, Tennessee. So of course we had to give it our own outlaw spin. What's interesting about this dish, it's a great way to use some of your extra pulled pork. So the next time you smoke a pork butt, do two. Most of the time they come 2 per pack, and you can just freeze the extra. So I hope you enjoy it. All right, so now we're going to start the preparation of the Porky Mac and Cheese. We start with a plate of our pulled pork that we prepared earlier. You use an any size pan. We just use this size of pan today, but you can, how much pork you have, you can use as big a pan as you like. Drizzle a little bit of your favorite barbecue sauce on top of it, and then we'll make the cheese sauce for the mac and cheese. So we'll kind of set this aside. Let's kind of push this out of our way. We'll add 6 cups of milk. And we just want this to simmer. We don't want this to burn. So just warm it up. We're going to add 8 tablespoons of butter, which is quite coincidentally 1 stick. So there we go. We'll let this melt and warm up. It takes a few minutes. So there's always this controversy about pre-shredded cheese or block cheese that we shredded ourselves. So to illustrate the point, I got some right here. This is cheddar cheese mild that we shredded this morning for the sauce. We have a package of shredded cheese. So when you look at the cheeses together, you can notice there's a big difference. The pre-shredded cheese is paler, and they coat it with a coating so it doesn't clump back together. You can notice that even though we just grated this cheese, it's starting to kind of clump back together. This is a much moister product. It'll melt better and make a better mac and cheese. So in this particular case, where it's myth or BS, it's true. Use fresh grated cheese whenever possible. It just makes a better product. I mean, obviously this is easy. You buy the bag, put it in your cheese, it won't melt. It will not be the same. So now we're melting this cheese or the butter in the milk. It's going to take just a little bit of time. We want to be careful not to overcook it or too hot, because the milk will scald and change flavors on us. So we don't want that to happen either. So we'll give it a little bit of time here. This is probably the most time-consuming part of this whole project. It's a really simple dish. It takes a few steps. So like I said, it's a real simple dish. Nowhere did I say it was a low-calorie dish. We'll start adding this cheese real slow, and I mean just a handful at a time, so we can let it get melted into the milk. And keep stirring it. You gotta stir it constantly. So by using freshly grated cheese, we get a more intense flavor, we get a creamier product because there's more moisture in it, and it just makes a greater product. Now we're gonna add several different types of cheese to this mac and cheese. You know, I love great mac and cheese. I absolutely just detest boxed mac and cheese. If it doesn't have real cheese, to me, it just isn't hardly worth the effort. So we're going to put time in this to make it a really great dish. You take this to a barbecue, I'll guarantee this will be the first item gone at the potluck. So we're just constantly stirring this, adding more cheese, slowly though. If you put it in too fast, it'll just make a big clump of cheese, and you will be stirring this until tomorrow. So it's better to take your time, and it'll turn out just right. So now all our cheddar cheese is melted into the milk. We're going to add the Gouda cheese. I really like Gouda. It gives it a nice creamy texture, and it'll actually make it thicker and just adds another dimension to the flavor. We will also add the dry ingredients this time. The white pepper, granulated garlic, salt, blink, and some Montana Outlaw pork rub. All right, now we'll stir this up till we get that good and melted. It'll take us just a few minutes, and then we'll add it to the macaroni and cheese. All right, so now the cheese sauce is ready. We got our macaroni here. What we do is quite simply just pour the cheese sauce over the macaroni. And I'll try to use minimal mess, but I'm not going to guarantee anything. Okay, we have our sauce incorporated in with the macaroni. We're just going to let it rest for a little bit and soak in, and then we'll transfer it over to the pork. All right, so now that you can see the sauce is kind of absorbed into the macaroni, we're going to pour it right on top of the pulled pork. Stir it up here a little bit. Level it kind of out. Now we'll add a little Asiago cheese. We'll sprinkle it on the top. And I'm going to apologize in the beginning because I'm not French. Gruyere cheese. I'm sure I didn't do that correctly, but that's the best I can do. We'll sprinkle that on top. Then sprinkle breadcrumbs on top of that. So now we've put all the cheese on top. We got some breadcrumbs on top. We're going to put it in the smoker at about 300 degrees for maybe 10 minutes, just so those crumbs start to crust and get a nice pretty color on top. So we'll set our Traeger at about 300 degrees. We'll just turn the dial here to 300. And remember, it takes about 15 minutes to get the temperature, so you want to get a head start on this. Well, now this Porky Mac is ready to go in the smoker. Okay, the mac and cheese has been in the smoker for about 10 minutes. The crumbs have nice toasted color. Cheese is melted through, so we're ready to take it out and serve it. So let's grab it out. I got my handy dandy Baby Shark hot pads for my granddaughter. And out she comes. Okay, we've allowed this to rest for about 10 minutes and we're ready to serve. So what you'll do is people will be surprised thinking they're just getting mac and cheese. But what they really are getting is Porky Mac and cheese. And that, my friends, is truly a unique way to have mac and cheese. And utilize some of your pulled pork from the previous day. This is our version of Porky Mac and Cheese. I hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to follow us on our YouTube channel, like it, subscribe, and please leave comments if there's anything you would like us to do. Thank you for watching this episode. We'll see you next time on Montana Outlaw BBQ.